All right, Mel. So I know I kind of just took you out of that play because I saw you got hit in the quad and stuff. Seems like you have a contusion. I'm not going to be putting you back in, and we're just going to manage it acutely, okay?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So I have permission to help with this?
You do, yeah.
All right, perfect. So first thing I'm going to want to do is just observe the area. So you said the pain's kind of in this area, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like here.
All right, yep. So just looking for any decap BTLS, so any deformities, contusions. I'm not seeing a contusion, but there could be one underneath the skin. Abrasions, burns, tendinous lacerations, any swelling. I'm not seeing any swelling. I'm also going to check for sharp, so it's okay if I use my hands.
Yep.
Perfect. So I'm just going to feel. They feel the same, so not really any heat. Altered function, like I said, you're seeing a bit altered, so that's why I'm taking you out. I'm not seeing any redness, and you said the pain is kind of in this area, correct, right? All right, perfect. So before we do our acute management, I'm just going to want to also check our PMS here. So our pulse is good. Can you wiggle your toes?
Yep.
Perfect. And can you feel this?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So first thing I want to do is kind of map out where your contusion is.
Okay.
So I'm just going to palpate. You just let me know where it hurts, okay? So I'm going to start further away from the site, obviously.
Yeah, like right there.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Right here.
Yes.
Right here.
Yep. Right there.
Right here. And one mark.
Right there.
Right here. All right. So now we have our contusion mapped out. Since we are managing this acutely, we're going to basically be going with a hood, which is a pad, to just kind of add that compression, approximate the tissue, help with that recovery, okay? So have you been taped before, correct?
I have been taped before,
Okay, so you know you're not allergic, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay, and you're okay with me kind of spraying on your shorts?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'm just going to spray on the quad area first, right on that contusion. And to get you in position, I'm just going to have you stand on this heel block with your foot. Yep, and get your heel on there. And I want you to just kind of load that quad a bit. Perfect. Okay, so we do have our hood. We're going to put this on the contusion directly. As this is an acute management, it's just the hood. And we're going to take our tensor bandage. We're going to start making sure we're not going too far into the kneecap. And I'm going to dog ear this first one to help keep it from sliding. And we're going to be doing a herringbone weaving technique here. So basically coming down, making sure that herringbone, the line is going right over our contusion pad here. Basically making kind of a crisscross pattern. And making sure that we're applying that tension on the front, but then relaxing our tension on the back, pulling our tension on the front, relaxing in the back. And we're basically just going to keep continuing this until we run out of tensor bandage. Almost looks like fish scales. Okay, so Mel, I'm just going to get you to hold that for me.
For sure.
We're going to help close this off, anchor it with some zinc oxide. And since this is acute, she's not going back in the game, I'm not too worried about using any ultralight to close anything off. I basically just want this to hold on. And the last thing we're going to do, we're going to add some more compression with the zinc. I'm going to be laying it over the pad. She's going to be pushing into me, okay, Mel? So I'm going to tell you when to lean forward. You're going to lean right into this tape, okay? So go ahead. Perfect. All right, again, go ahead. Excellent. Go ahead. Good. And one more, go ahead. Great. Okay, so that is essentially what we're doing for our acute management. Mel, I'm also going to say, so we are going to protect it. So as I say, we're going to take you out of the game.
Yeah.
If it's a bit painful and you seem like you can't really walk without that pain, I can give you some crutches, so we can do that as well. When that inflammatory phase is over, we want to think about optimal loading. So once the swelling and heat has kind of dissipated from that, I'm going to want you to start doing some pain-free range of motion, so some knee extension, knee flexion kind of activity.
Yeah.
But once again, pain-free, so if you start getting a pain, back off that range, okay? And then I'm also going to want you to be icing. Icing is very important. We're going to make sure we have a barrier for that ice, so maybe a towel, tense, or anything. Yeah. You're going to put it on, and you're going to keep it on. You're going to feel cold, burning, aching numbness. Okay. When you feel that numbness, I want you to take it off. Okay. And I want you to know how long it took from application to numbness. Okay. And then your rewarming time is going to be 3 times that. Okay. So let's say it was 15 minutes for numbness, 45 minutes of it off, because we want that tissue to rewarm, and then you can repeat that icing. Okay. Okay, now the last thing, very important, is that elevation. Okay. So whenever you're sitting around at home or whatever, because you are a student athlete for rugby, I want you to get that foot up on a chair, try to get as high as you can. Okay. If you're in bed, try to get it around 6 to 10 inches above your heart. Okay. So you can like put books under your mattress, you can put it on pillows, whatever you want to do, because that elevation is really going to help with your swelling. And don't sleep with the tensor on, take it off at night. But essentially follow those steps. That's what I want you to do for your acute management. And then also come back, see me tomorrow, and we'll see how you're doing, okay? All right. Perfect. All right. So that's essentially how we would handle the acute management. If we're going to return to play, I'm going to show you it's very similar, except instead of just a hood, we are going to do a donut and hood. Okay. Okay, so I still have Melody here. She still has that same contusion, but now we're managing it for return to play. So the same thing, all the pre-management stuff is the same. So DCAP, BTLS, PMS, sharp. Also looking at the allergies. We know she's not allergic to anything, so that's good. So we can go right away. But this time instead, as I said, we are going to be using a donut and a hood this time for return to play in order to disperse those forces from that contusion and protect it. So what we're going to do, we're going to put our donut around the contusion site, and we're going to put our hood on top, and I'm going to ask Melody to hold that for me. Now, very similar process to the previous, we're going to do that herring and bone up the middle, keeping that cross right on top, getting that compression. Same thing, dog ear that first kind of round. And then doing that crisscross pattern. And again, doing it until we run out of tensor bandage. And as it was before, pulling that tension on the front, relaxing that tension in the back, pulling that tension in the front, relaxing the tension on the back. Okay, so Mel, you can hold that for me again. Same thing, we're just going to lock that down with some zinc. These are her undershorts for rugby, by the way.
Yeah.
And we once again, like the acute management, I'm going to have her push into me as I put the zinc oxide on the pad. So Melody, go ahead, push into me. Excellent. Go ahead, push into me. Great. Go ahead, push in. Good. One more, push in. Excellent. Okay, now Melody, how far down do your rugby shorts come?
And
like your
shorts
actual ones?
really come like here.
Okay, so kind of at the top of the pad?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to want to make sure we close this off so nobody's kind of pulling up that tense or anything. So I'm just going to use some ultralight, just very light tension because it's just to help close that off. Keep molding everything, and one more just to get over that short. Okay, perfect. So, just gonna recheck our PMS here. Move your toes. Perfect. You can feel that.
I can.
Okay, perfect. So since you're gonna go back in the game, I just want to make sure the tape works for you and you can still play your sport. So rugby, I know you're doing a lot of running, side shuffling. So maybe do a couple of those, see how it feels.
That feels good. It feels good. Feels
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so after the game, again, come back to see me. We'll reevaluate it, see how it is. Other than that, we're good to
good. All
go.
right, sounds good. Thank you.
No worries.